My name is D67. I'm from Tainan, Regio Toastmasters. And today, well, it's a wonderful opportunity. We are going to learn something from Mr. Douglas Huang. Here, Douglas, at the moment, he belongs to TGIF. Thanks God it's Friday. Toastmasters Club in Taipei. And he's also serving at the biotechnology company. And today, he actually is going to share with us how to manage your club's mentor program. You know, Douglas actually is the sponsor and the mentor of 10 newly chartered clubs. Can you believe it? Well, I was once one of the mentor and charter clubs, but he got 10 times. And how long has he been Toastmasters Club? He said that it's about 24 years in Toastmasters. Amazing. All right, and he has lived in several countries, including 5 years in Finland, where he served as the charter president of Nokia's Toastmasters Club. So, and he has a wealth of cooperative experience and has brought his knowledge and skills of Toastmasters in Taiwan, particularly in the chartering and the mentoring of a new club. So, chartering and mentoring of new club, which is something we should learn and we have to learn and we love to learn from him. So, let's get ready to learn from Douglas about how to manage your club's mentoring system. Let's welcome Douglas Huang.
Thank you, Dinger, for your wonderful introduction. Can you guys hear me okay in the back? Yeah. What? Okay. All right. Well, good afternoon to you. My name is Douglas, and thank you for introducing the Nokia. But Nokia, so now I am back here in Taiwan. And it is my pleasure to be introducing a few slides. Okay, humor speech contest. I should have gone in there. All right. Before I start, there's a few things I want to alliterate, is that I believe that mentoring system, or being a mentor, well, the whole system's called mentoring, is something that's very important to any club. But however, there are some fundamentals that needs to be set up. So I am going to outline just a few things before I go into the mentoring program. Anyone here not a Toastmaster member? Good. And just by raise of hand, just curious, how many of you and your club currently do have a mentoring system? Okay, so about half. Okay, good. Just want to get an idea. Now, before we start the mentoring program, I want to give you the macro view. So let's just take you, club position, and your home club. Having that as a macro view, you go one step up. What do you have? You have the area, division, and district. Okay, going up. And when you look a little bit higher and around, it is a global organization. You have members, not only in your club, but the whole district of 67, and globally. That's a lot of resources to go with. With resources, that's also best practices. So if you have a problem in your club, don't worry. I'm sure some other club have the same problem. Why spend two sets of people solving the same issue? I would like to see more best practices in our internet, etc. There's a lot of sharing that can be done. One step further is that, how do you promote what you have? The internet, make good use of it. What websites, community centers, the social media. A lot of information is at your fingertip. It's more about how you want to use them to help you. When we take that perspective from macro into micro view, I'd like to ask all of you, do you have a point of difference of your club? Meaning that we all pretty much sell the same product, Toastmasters. How there are approximately 170 clubs in Taiwan. What makes your club different than the one across the street, across the other county? What is your point of difference? If you have one, great. If not, establish one. How? Do you have a vision or mission? Because I believe that every club, when you start, you've got to have that mission statement. You've got to have certain vision towards your club. It might be a campus club, it might be a corporate club, it might be a community club. Whatever that might be, I believe you have a mission, vision of your club. If you don't, go back to the chartering material. There should be something there for you. But this is to help you a little bit of what I'm going to be going into later. Because if you do have this, let's take one more look further down. What is your current goal and your objective? The new term has already been on. What do you want to accomplish? You know your point of difference. You want to have your mission and vision, which will be consistent. Every year you could have a new motto, a new way of doing things. Okay? But however, that would be in the goal. Are you guys following me so far? Of course not. So I'm going to give you some examples. Okay? So having this in mind, I'm just going to use my home club, TGIF, to give you an example. TGIF was established 2 years ago. Can you guys hear me better in the back? Okay, good. If not, throw things at me. Okay. TGIF, last year, for example, I would be the president, the district director, Kendrick, Eric Lau, and then there are some numbers. So for example, there are 159 clubs in Taiwan, so many clubs in the whole Toastmaster International. There are so many members here in Taiwan, and then if you could add up all the numbers in the world, there are approximately over a quarter of a million people. These are numbers, okay? But this is also giving us an idea, an indication of the growth and the resources that we could obtain. So again, there are so many other things that we could use. Facebook pages, there are Google sites, Meetup. If you don't know what that is, go in there, put your club name in there, and those who wants to come to Taiwan in your area, they like to meet up with people. There's so many search engines, websites, social media stuff you could promote. But again, don't do it for the sake of just doing it. You got to have some micro view, such as, what is TGIF? TGIF, fundamentally, the point of difference, it is a Christian elements. We have Christian elements in there. And it's bilingual. 所以讲中文也可以，要讲英文也可以. And so we have our way of doing that. It's a bilingual club. So this is the point of difference. And about half of our members are Christians. You don't have to be a Christian in order to join. However, this is the first organization that has some little religious value in it. Now, what is our mission and vision? And just to quickly identify is simply 4 words. We want to tell and teach. We want to testify and preach. Very simple. Everything that we do falls under that. And that is our vision. Having that, then we go into, all right, now what do we want to do as a goal, as a group for this year? 2 things. Simply 2 things. Anything more than 3, that's not a realistic goal. 1, President's Distinguished Club. I assume all of you understand what that is, DCP points. If not, I will email you tons of things later. 1 is getting our President's Distinguished Club. 2nd is to treat every guest and member that comes to our club, TGIF, as a God sent himself. No one walked into TGIF accidentally. We believe that everyone came through was a God sent himself. Simply, the ECP points. It is a 1-year thing. We do it in 5 months. At least that's the goal. And I'll show you later. I promise I'll show you later. It is not that difficult to get it done within 6 months. So I don't know why we have to do it in 12 months. Ah, right. By the way, all this stuff, I will give you my email website, and you could send me your email, and I promise to give you the whole slides, okay? But if you want to take photos, if you want to do anything, feel free. All right. Now, going into the mentoring program, just to quickly identify a few areas. What is a mentor? Well, mentoring, if you look up on the dictionary, you will probably find an answer like this. And to summarize that in one word is, or two words, a friend and a person who will assist you, who will guide you. And the word I would use is probably trust. Okay? But a mentor is a brain to pick. Not literally, okay, but just to use his knowledge. And ear to listen when you have questions. A push in the right direction, because most of the time a new member is lost. Sometimes it can be an old member too. Okay, when you're lost, a mentor helps you to get you into that direction. And a mentor is someone, the role model, there's a few words in there, confidant, offering knowledge, inside perspectives, etc., etc. The key word in here is useful to the mentee. So if you're the mentee and the mentor gives you a lot of information, if it's not useful, it is just another color on the sky. It's not useful, okay? So it's got to be useful. For the mentee, it's easy in the transition, because most of you, when you grow your club, the one thing you're going to have is new members. When they come in, you got to orient them. So you have to teach them the program, let them know what the CC and the CL, the competence, communication, and the leadership, and along with getting to know the custom of this club, how it's different than the others. I usually tell the new members is, yes, thank you for coming today. Thank you for showing me your money and wanting to be a member. But please, come at least 3 times to fully understand what Toastmasters is all about before you join. And if you can, go out there and look around to the other Toastmasters, because I want you to be as comfortable as possible. We're not a multi-level marketing company. We're not selling anything. I want the new member to be really, really confident and well thought out why they join Toastmasters. Okay? That's why these are the things that it's kind of doing what the mentor should be doing before they join. And then, of course, all the other areas you can read yourself. Okay? The benefits to the mentor, of course, being a mentee after you've kind of grown, for the mentor, you get a little bit more. If you have, of course, we all get to learn something when we interact, regardless. So you will always learn something from the mentee. Second is that you will still maintain somewhat productive, because when you're going through your journey, yes, it was challenging, but once you get your DTM, for example, it might be, yeah, thank you, I did my job. But however, this is the time when you start teaching others, which some teachers would say this, is that you really don't know what you have really learned until you could teach it. If you think about that word, it does make sense. You kind of go through, you could deliver, yeah, okay, I did it. But once you start helping someone, that's when you really know what you have really learned. All right? Some of this stuff I'm just going to go somewhat quick, because you could read, and I'll give you the slides. The benefits to the club. Sorry, I added a few ones in there. But just to explain about the pictures, last year there were over 16 C1 speakers, okay, at TGIF. And that's just the C1. Of course, we have all the advances. But C1 is always a great opportunity to get to know who the speakers are. Benefits to not only to the mentor, but also for the club, is that, of course, you're going to have more members. And when the members are happy, when they're satisfied, that's where they will stay longer. Just like everyone here, none of you were being forced to come to conference, right? Well, maybe with Caroline, maybe. But at least all of you are not being forced. All of you are at self-will to come. And same thing, once you continue, you make the club grow stronger and you get to retain more members. Okay? Again, I will be kind of jumping back and forth a little bit. It goes back to, why did you join Toastmasters? Why did you become a member of your current club? These are always the questions I interview the new members when they come in. And I keep track of that because every once in a while I will remind them, you came and you joined this Toastmasters for these reasons. And of course, just right off my head, you want to increase, well, you want to benefit the social network. You want to improve your English skills. You want to improve your presentation skills. You're here to look for a wife. You're here for whatever the reason is. I would keep track, okay? Because I want to make sure that we could deliver. Otherwise, they have joined the wrong place. And jumping back, I'm not going to read all that, but you could have a quick look on the qualities of what a mentor should be. Keyword in here, I would probably say, if you want to be a mentor, you need to have at least some sympathy and you're concerned for others. You want to grow another person because you went through that growth and someone was being a good mentor to you, and the keyword would be you're genuinely concerned for another person. Okay? So the mentor quality and the quality of the mentee, just make it simple. If you're a new member, you need a mentor. Okay? Never left a new member unattended. So a few things when a new member joins: arrange a mentor immediately, interview the new member before they pay, have an officer sit down with the person. Thank you for joining us. Why did you join us? If you don't know, here's your money back. Find out before you joined us. Okay? Just like we heard, if he or she's going to pay the price, they're paying the price, but then make sure in the back, they're paying it and you're paying it too. Okay? So the quality of the mentee, we have to keep them in perspective towards their goals. Because there's the two parts. There's the club goal and then there's their personal goal. If the person wants to grow, make sure the person is on the fast track. Make sure this person is speaking every month or every meeting, while the other meetings they're doing an assignment for leadership. But if they're just there to make friends, then maybe every 2 months or so, let the person speak. So there's different tracks for a different person. Not two people are the same. Treat them differently. Of course, I'm not trying to exhaust all your officers or your EVP, but just to identify. These are the clarity as an officer we need to understand. Okay, the finite relationship. The purpose of mentoring is to do this, and then, yeah. Some mentor takes it even more serious. If you want to be a good mentor, we have our past international president who ended up marrying his mentee. Oh, sorry, George. But there are different ways of creating that relationship. But however, it is a finite relationship. Okay, it stays with you for a while. And the meeting, there's usually a meeting between the mentor and mentee, and you could help them to do that. There are manuals, there are things that I could also send you if you need them, if you haven't seen them already. So there are questions, there are answers, there are things that you jointly agree together. Okay, and then I could also provide you a little bit more. I also want to give you just an idea. The mentor, these are the things that you should do. As far as for the mentee, these are just some of the areas that you should follow. Just having a quick look at that, none of that would make sense if this is not being met, which is, it's the mentee who decides. I tend to put it where the mentor has the back seat. It's the mentee who decides what the person wants to do, and then when to meet, what to reach, what to be helped with. So the mentor is not a bee flying around trying to be busy with everything. It's the mentee who come and ask the mentor. So if the mentee doesn't need it, the mentor doesn't have to provide it, unless you're doing the C1. Okay? I'm just going to take my jacket off. It's getting very warm. All right. Let me just check my time really quick. All right. Now, just so that, because every club runs differently, I'm just going to quickly share about who qualifies as a mentor. And I'm just going to use TGIF as an example. TGIF members who have completed their competent communication and have the heart to serve could be a mentor. Okay? So this is what we do, but it might be different from all the other clubs. Okay? It's up to you. So if you have already done C4 and you want to be a mentor, can you? There's no, at least I haven't read anywhere where you can or cannot. If you have the heart, then do it. Okay? And I personally recommend that for that no more than 3 mentees for new members. Okay? So how do we identify new members? Is those who have been a Toastmaster member for less than 3 years. Don't take more than 3 mentees unless you're really good at it. Okay? But at least that's just some outline, And mentoring the mentor. Now, a mentor has to be taught also. So I took the liberty by, and I'm just going to give you an example. I took a one-on-one coaching with all the mentors. So approximately 1/4 of our members are mentors. I would spend once a month doing this whole around. It's 10 to 30 minutes each. What I do is that I either sit down with them over the coffee, have phone or messages, just to keep up on what have they done. What are they doing to keep themselves? Okay, so it's kind of like training a trainer. How do you keep the mentor mentoring? So just kind of keep them going, assisting each mentor to become more efficient. And also at the same time, they will get into areas where they don't even know the answer. And that's where I have that discussion with them. And I've kind of said this before, is that I interview all the new members, getting to know why that person is wanting to be a Toastmaster, and then assigning that person to a mentor that we have on the board. And then, of course, issuing a letter to both the mentor and mentee. You guys are not married, but you are in this program together, and along with our club president, EVP, secretary, so that they get to understand what that personal goal should be. Duration, just to have a quick chat on that. For new members, the mentor's minimum obligation is 3 prepared speeches. Because sometimes you say, all right, here's your mentor. This is your mentee. When does that relationship stop? Okay, does it continue? Well, of course, if it can, great. But at least the minimum is to at least get the person oriented, started, and comfortable in the club. And anything from thereafter, it's really up to the mentor and mentee. Others. Now, you could have a quick read on that. I'm not going to further explain. Okay? I also pulled in this as an example because within the structure that we have, this is just purely just an example. For example, our current president is Paul Sharp, the IPP. With the different positions, I just bullet point list out of their jobs and responsibilities. But just to share with you, and I will do it from this part. For example, the treasurer. Don't forget. Don't mind about the names. The treasurer looks after the P&L, the payments, getting on the internet, collection. Correct? I think we're all about in the same area. Sergeant at Arm. I made it very simple. Meeting quality. No one's going in and out. Things are being well kept. If there's food, ordering food, and speech contest. Okay, Sergeant at Arm. Like I said, this is not for Toastmaster International. This is my idea of what that should be. There's membership and there's PR. Membership is to identify the person's goal and objective. Okay, the membership is getting the fees, the renewal fees, the well-being, and having those inductions. Okay, so I somewhat kind of put membership is once the person becomes a member, it goes into membership. When the person is still not, we're still getting more members, it kind of goes to the PR. At least that's kind of where I put that. So PR is about advertisement, communication, welcoming guests, having events, having mixers. So that's kind of where I put that for the roles and responsibilities. EVP, the most challenging job sometimes. Of course, the education, the manuals, and then it should be under the mentor-mentee would fall under the education, the EVP. And I believe most of the clubs are within alignment of that. And of course, doing the agenda, which occupies about 80% of the EVP schedule. So overall, I would probably be saying it should be from top down, club president endorsing the whole mentor system, having EVP to align on the development for the membership to also be able to point out who the mentor would mix, okay, align which mentee and mentor. So this is just kind of quickly identify that. So far, how am I doing putting you guys to sleep? Am I doing okay on that part? No. But that's sorry for any questions so far. But if there are, I will also have some Q&A. Okay, just gonna identify two areas. There is the advanced leadership bronze. So once you have gone into the ALB, if you were to look carefully in the 5 criterias, one, you gotta have your competent leadership submitted. Second is to have your CC, and then you have served 6 months as a club officer and participate in a district-sponsored training. Simple. But the 5th one, if you look carefully, you need to conduct 2 presentations from the Club Successful series and the Leadership Experience series. Some of you are familiar. If you're not, ALB. Within that, you look into and then you click on the Successful Club series. You will have a whole list of areas. And within that, there is one item called mentoring. There's a lot of information within our website you can already obtain. And for this, once you click into the mentoring system, you could actually, yes, I know you're going to get very excited, but be careful. For this mentoring system, once you go into, there's a lot of things in there. So for example, it gives you a whole list of things such as the mentoring program, how to be a mentor, okay? Similar to the things that I have already said, but these are the things that you could take that and do the presentation yourself, okay? So again, you go back up. There are many areas in there for the Successful Club series. You click into the mentoring system, item 296, and all the stuff will be out. Not only that, it is a small file, zip file containing a few things. Other than this, you also have the mentor interest survey. There is a survey that you give to everyone in the club. And for those who is interested to be a mentor, they will sign and return back to you. Well, hopefully you get some back. And then once you have that, then you can start having a pool of mentors, having your mentees notice once all the stuff is being filled in. There's even a certificate you could download, okay? Because they all need the recognition. And there's a whole manual on the Successful Club series that you can look through. So if you're serious, if you want to commit, one thing, have a mission in your club. Have that vision. Get to understand what you want to do this year. Because if you don't know, this whole thing is just cotton candy, nice and dandy. Okay, so you want to have that goal first so that you could get everyone on board. Okay? Now, hopefully, we are okay on time. Anyone, because I still have other things I want to present, but I would just want to break it up into certain fragments. Any questions you guys might have? If you do, keep your hand up so that I could give you the microphone that you could speak into. Okay? Or can I get someone? Keep your hand raised so that when the microphone comes to you, please identify by your name, which club you're from, and then the question.
It's really surprised to see the organization charts.
Okay, I'm going to give that instruction again. When the microphone comes to you, please tell me your name, which club you're from, and then the question.
Amy Huang, PTC. It's really surprised it's my first time to see the organization chart for a club. You use the president and all different officers. I think it's really good because it looks like you conduct a club, treat it as a company.
Oh, it's not a company? Oh, okay. I'm just kidding. Yes. Okay.
It's
And the question
really
would be-
efficient.
What's the question again?
You think it's helpful?
Well, for
Or-
me, that's the way my mind works. I need to get structure.
But for, for the business running and the club running, it's something different. So do you think do you suggest all the club do is like
you-
what you do?
Of course. Okay, I would definitely suggest that. I'm a person who likes to be organized. Having the structure gives me clarity because this gives me a clarity on anything that pops up. Who would do that? If I don't have the clarity, guess what? 这个人会很累. Okay, so everything goes up to the club president because no one knows where to go and what to do. And this is also give me an opportunity to tell each officer what their responsibilities are, what is expected from that person. Okay, so it helps me. Yes, there's more question, and where's the microphone now? Okay, okay.要用中文问话也可以。
I'm I'm Gloria from Entrepreneur from Taipei. 我们好，我用中文好了，比较容易理解。因为我们的会才新的，去年才创啊。我今天知道了这样子的这个 TGIF 的这个 officer 的那个 structure， 我发觉很好。这我刚好是 VPE， 但是呢，这个 mentor 跟 mentee 的 program 我觉得很好。那来上这堂课，我最主要想要知道 how。那我知道了，刚刚老师讲的 benefit 很多。那么到底怎么样来执行？刚刚也知道了，我们可以请别的会的人来当 mentor， 但是我们怎么样去做呢？怎么样去 assign 呢？或者是说这个要有怎么样一个 procedure 呢？可不可以告诉我们多一点这方面的 information？ 谢谢。
回答这个问题，这样子好了，我还是保持英文好了。For any new club, you have 2 coaches and 2 mentors, correct?
Yeah, officially yes.
Okay. If you were to look back on the paper, usually
Yes, officially yes, but I don't think that's the function
okay.
so far.
I tend to look for things that, if you want to do it right the first time, make sure it's right. So usually I do not give credit for person just so that the person could earn that mentor or coach title. If you're going to be a mentor of the club, you do the work. You're involved. Otherwise, if you want to do a credit system, go find yourself a different club. So if they're going to be involved, those are the person that you seek for. Because for a new club, it's slightly different. You need someone to give you directions. Okay? For a new club, it's just like a new member, except a little bit bigger. It's a whole club that everyone is new. So you need directions. You need answers. So when you cry out, you need someone to give you tissue. No. So you need someone to give you the solutions. Okay? So there is probably a lot of things. The question is a little bit big about how to tackle that, but it goes with who's the mentor, who's the mentee, who's the mentor, who's the coaches for the new club, and which area director. Okay.
Sorry, one more question. And then officially we do have the person for the mentor, and I know from the records, but it's because it's not function. So is it able to change that?
Sure. You're talking about 2 people, if the relationship, if that doesn't work out? Is that what you're asking?
Implementation.
No, I mean, can we change the mentor's name which we already on the records?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay.
Name is one thing. To get the job done is more important. Yeah? Okay. So if the president is not working out, fire the president. Oh, sorry. No. There was another question. Philia.
Ilya from YWCA-H2. My question is，我现在用国语讲，可能大家比较清楚。我们家其实也用 mentor 跟 mentee 的制度用很久，那也是我们家做20年一直能够持续下来的原因。可是我有小小的困境，我自己就遇到这个困境，怎么样训练 mentor 啊？
怎么样去念？
对，因为我觉得其实做 mentor 本身，我已经带了很多的 mentee 了，我其实有时候也要觉得有点累了。
因为我去训练 mentor。Yeah，
我觉得其实某个程度，你怎么
inspire
your
mentor 还是 mentor 都 OK。英文的话是叫做 mentor。英国音的话有点像 mentor。不过呢，我一强调 mentor 就是好像去便利店买是慢头猪一样。
对，因为我自己已经做，我自己加入TM 已经快3年多，然后我觉得也很资深很时间。How do you inspire your mentors?
This is a $1 million question because those who have good mentoring skills, where are they? I can't say I am good, but I could also say that I have the heart. Okay? So it's the person who has the heart. Same thing when we see our members. Everyone is excellent in their own ways. However, the difference is when the person has the heart. So for example, if I have the heart, just an example, I look up for things. I try to be a good mentor myself. So once I graduate from that, I mentor the mentors who wants to be a good mentor. So how does that work? Usually, that's why I kind of pull out the first 2 slides. The resources, the best practices, who qualifies, and ask for person's availability. I believe at our current technology, everything you need is at your fingertips. You could actually find good materials because all that is just one thing, structure. The second thing is you take that in and it's the soft skills. Because when you're mentoring someone, it's the soft skills. Are you identifying the mentor's need? Are you fulfilling the needs? Are you growing the mentee? Because all this stuff is what an EVP does. So if you don't have the heart, if you're too busy, this is irrelevant. Guess what? Doesn't matter how good you are at your skill, the delivery is not going to be that good. It's a commitment. I commit myself to talk to all the mentors once a month, 10, 15 minutes. 你好啊，最近怎么样啊？有没有又跟女朋友吵架啊？ just 聊天. You talk for a little bit and then you engage into, all right, tell me about, you have 2 mentees, how they're doing. Oh, you haven't been contacting them? Just reminding sometimes, they take more actions. Okay? So there is quite a lot behind that. Okay? Find a qualifying person who could help, and that would do it. Any other questions?
This is Joe from China Toastmaster Club. I just wonder if you can share us any successful example from your mentoring system.
Okay.
And
How many hours do you have?
just 1 or 2 examples.
Wow, I don't know where to start. There's so many. But I believe that, not to brag, but TGIF, I believe that we're in a good foundation. The club is only a little over 2 years old. And we've been having a good system where you come in as someone, wow, what is all this stuff? You get to compete, you get to speak. And we all understand that speaking is just one thing. It's having good evaluations. It's the general evaluation within our club that makes your club successful. So we focus a lot on the evaluation, meaning that if you are a little bit too harsh, the person, bye-bye. But if you're always like, oh, you're so good, I look forward to your next speech. Oh, I love your speech. And the person after doing 3 or 4 speeches, I'm not getting any better. Okay. So it's more about how do you do that properly. That needs to be taught. That needs to be fed back and forth. It's not just a place where everything is just, what did I say before? Cotton candy and something, okay? And so it's not just fluffy. You gotta, every person has their own challenges because their needs to be met. once that is identified as a club, the mentor is just going in there just to fill the space. The space is, I'm going to contact you Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and then I do this, and then guess what? A week later, or a month later, they will be with me and on track. And once they get to understand that passion, that achievement, 那个成就, I'm sorry, jumping back and forth, is that once we are growing with new members, I'll be asking, any of you would like to mentor someone? 5 people, 2 people will jump up immediately. Yes, let me take that challenge. Yes, that sounds something interesting. So, sorry, not one specific, but that's just give you an example of how that works out. Sorry, Joe. Okay.
My name is Brenda Chen. Actually, I'm from California. I used to be a member for AAR, which is Arcadia Realtor Board. And the question for you is a little bit beyond this, just organization officers, you know, the whole structure. I always curiosity about the whole Toastmasters picture. Because to me, it's just like a franchise, you know, store, each division or each local office. So since you are here, you know better, would you?
I try to look like that.
No, you definitely, yeah. Would you just explain a little bit about the insider of Toastmaster? I know it's founded in California,
Yep.
but
Which
that's
part
all.
Which part of California?
You mean me?
Yeah, no, which part do you remember?
I do not know that.
Okay, which year? Okay.
Sorry, that's why I need your answer.
Okay, but for those, that is just the history. It's all over the website.
Yeah.
Yes, it's from Santa Ana, California. Now it's
Santa.
headquarters in Santa Margarita. But 91 years ago, all that is one thing. Yes, the franchise is exactly, let me just identify again. All of us are a member in our own club. What is the difference between your club versus my club?
Franchise?
What's the difference?
Oh,
We have the same manuals.
yes.
What's the difference? What's the difference? Okay, mission with vision, okay. But simply put, we have different members,
Oh, yeah.
different needs. These members are all pharmacists. These members are all teachers. These members are, etc. That makes that club dynamic. Find out what their needs are. They didn't come there because they're bored. Well, maybe, but they came for those meetings because everyone has something to be fulfilled. So sorry, in business term would be, when you market something, you don't just say how good you are and all this stuff. You're there to fulfill. You're there to satisfy a certain need. If you're able to do that, then you are successful in what you do, in general. Okay? So I promised that I would give you an idea about how to structure this, and I'm just going to do this very quick, and I'm trying to think of how I should do this. All right, let's try this. My writing is not the best, but TME, and I will just jump into speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker 3. Usually 3, sometimes up to 4. And then there's GE, there's IE1, IE2, etc. But let me just kind of pull this out. All right, let me just kind of start from there. When you're looking at a roster, okay, there's the LE, there's the yaw counter, there's the table topic. I'm just not going to go through all this stuff. But just to give you an idea about how it looks, is that usually, how many clubs are meeting every week? Okay, a few. But mostly twice a month, correct? So let me just kind of do this. Each month, you meet twice. I'll just stop there for now. Why did you join Toastmasters? How many speeches would you like to make? And what would you like to accomplish within a certain amount of time? So if you are here, sorry to point you out, I'm embarrassing you, but if you are here to do a good delivery, or to be a better effective speaker, how often are you willing to commit? Aggressive? Let's just say once a month you will speak, okay? So we will put your name, let's just say A2. I don't know. Okay, we will put A2 to speak. Once a month, okay? And then we're going to identify you as B1. And how often would you like to speak? Okay, so every 2 months, okay? So you want to enjoy, you want to take more assignments, okay? And then come back every once, so every 2 months or so. All right, I'm just going to do this for now. Once, and then, okay? And then there are others, which I think that about 1/3 of most members, they like to speak as often as they can, but they got to have good evaluators. If they have a good mentor, they will also do a lot of coaching before. Usually the ones that I got to know is that they prefer to do one speech once every other month, and then the other time to be assignment takers. And if you end up in having 1/3 of the people who wants to do one speech and an assignment, a speech and assignment, just having something to do, and every once in a while take a break in between. And then if I would just say, if the third person to come in here and then to do exactly just that. And then one more person in there. So far we have 3 people. And I'm just going to put E and one person jumping like that. Okay, so once a month or so. Just by doing that, A, B, C, D, E, F. So that's only 6 people. 6 people has already fulfilled quite a lot. Wait a minute, that's almost the whole agenda. So that's 6 people. Each club usually have at least 20, yeah? Okay, so maybe that's too much. So perhaps, can you guys not talk so often? Okay, let's extend that a little bit. I'd like to save some spaces for our C1 people. So do you get the idea what I'm trying to get you? Is that this is only 6 people. And if you were to make that a little bit more relaxed, put 10 people in it. Let's take you to do a TME sometimes. Let's take you to do a GE sometimes. Okay, let's train you to be individual evaluators here and there. So as you see, once you pull this out to, let's just say 12 people, you pretty much have a good backlog of the upcoming 3 months of planning. Well communicated, they're committed, and things that you could do, you have the president, you have the EVP. These 2, usually I assign them to do pocket speeches, meaning that every week they prepare a speech in their pocket. The person couldn't show up, stuck in traffic, has some problem in the office. You're up. Okay, you're up. So everything is committed, etc. I think for here is a little bit easier, okay? But that kind of gives you an idea, and once you understand how that works, the agenda is not about next week. The agenda is 3 months down the line. Do 80% of it 3 months down the line. And once you see that, you will see differences such as, all right, C1, C2, C3, C4, C5. And the person even want to be more aggressive, but this is all you could do. You give the person, send them off to a different club to do more speeches, and so forth. So in reality, I'm not going to do the whole mathematics due to the time, but you could actually get your DCP points within 5 months if you really know how to put all these resources together. by identifying who your members are, who wants to be on the fast track. For those who are there for social, then they get to put in as other areas. So there are many ways that you could identify who they are. And this is when you do your recruitment for new members, you ask them, all right, we need someone who's going to be the fast track to get the first DCP, to get their competent communicator. And once you do that, we have advanced speakers, etc. Does that kind of give you an idea of how that might work out? Okay, and let me just kind of check my watch really quick. All right. And any other questions? Because I feel that I am so short on time. Any other questions out there? Where anywhere? What's that? Yes. My email, as I promised. Okay, you could take a photo of it. You could write it down. It's very simple. Douglas Huang, no dot, no space in between. After Douglas Huang, dot, Finland, 一个鸟不生蛋的地方, and at gmail.com. So if you want to get a copy of everything that you saw today, send me an email and say, hi Douglas, can I get a copy? And I'll send you a copy. Okay, along with all the information in there. And with that, I'd like to thank all of you again for having the interest and also giving me this opportunity to speak in front of you. Mentoring and mentoring system is something that takes some time to develop. It is something that for when you have reached your competent communicator, you want to go into leadership, this is also a great area to look into. Everything you do in this area will also establish where your club should be. Again, I want to emphasize, identify where your club direction is going to be. Hopefully not changing every year. The mission and vision stays the same for at least 10 years. But yearly, each term, identify what you want to do. You want to bloom where you're planted. You want to make it your home. There's all these models you could go with. Okay? Identify that and then just stick to it and follow it through for the whole year. And then the rest, the mentoring system, is to go in and fill in and to identify all that. All right? So again, I want to thank you again for your time and have a great stay at this beautiful Kaohsiung place. Enjoy the sunshine.
Well, in this session, I really learned if you want to mentor a good club, you need to have a good heart and good vision and the mission. So let's give Doug Swan again a big applause. Thank you. And here we have a certificate and gift. Photo. Thank you. All right, and we will have a short 10 minutes break and we'll go on the other session. And the one who has to serve the mentor, please go. Now, okay. Thank you very much. Rosa.